The Ghost Sphere, a Zen parable in a small village near a forest in ancient China. There lived a man named Wei. Wei was known throughout the village as someone who was easily frightened and prone to anxiety. He constantly worried about bandits, wild animals, and especially ghosts, which he believed haunted the woods after nightfall. One evening, Wei was returning home later than usual. He had been visiting a relative in the neighboring village and lost track of time. As darkness fell, he found himself having to walk through the forest path alone. With each step deeper into the woods, Wei's imagination ran wild. The moon was partly obscured by clouds, casting strange, shifting shadows among the trees. The normal sounds of forest rustling leaves, animal calls, and creaking branches all seemed ominous and threatening to his anxious mind. Suddenly, Wei spotted a strange white figure in the distance. It appeared to be swaying slightly in the misty darkness. A ghost, Wei thought, his heart pounding in his chest. Without a second thought, he turned and ran as fast as his legs could carry him, screaming in terror. What Wei didn't know was that the ghost was actually just an old tree stump covered with fresh snow that had fallen earlier that day. A piece of white cloth that had been caught on one of its branches was gently waving in the breeze. But here's the humorous twist in the tale. As Wei ran screaming from the scene, the piece of cloth, disturbed by a sudden gust of wind, was torn free from the branch. It floated to the ground near the base of the stump. If the tree stump could think, it might have reasoned. That man took one look at me and ran away in absolute terror. What could have frightened him so? There must be something truly horrifying nearby, perhaps behind me. And if the cloth could think, it might have concluded. That man was running away, and now even the stump seems afraid. There must be something terrifying here that I cannot see. So in this whimsical parable, the ghost became frightened of the man who was frightened of it, each creating the other's fear where no real danger existed. When Wei finally reached the village and breathlessly told everyone about his encounter with a ghost, an old Zen master who was visiting smiled knowingly and said, "The ghost you ran from was as frightened of you as you were of it. Fear sees fear even where there is nothing but an old stump and a piece of cloth." The villagers laughed, and eventually Wei joined in too, realizing the amusing truth of how his own mind had created a terrifying experience out of nothing. From that day forward, whenever Wei felt anxiety rising, he would remember the frightened ghost and smile, understanding that many of our fears exist only in our minds. Thanks for watching.